Hello everybody, it's Bendominator and welcome back to yet another episode of the Bendominator Podcast. Today we're on episode 16 of the podcast, and yeah, it's actually a pretty exciting one because I'm pretty sure, I'm at least hoping that we're going to be seeing an update tomorrow in Fortnite. Now, I waited to record this podcast for quite a bit because I've been waiting for them to kind of announce the update. It seems like they're not going to announce it for a while. It might be later tonight around item shop time. So I'm recording the podcast now. By the time I upload this, they may have announced the update, but by the time I'm recording this, we actually don't know. So I'm under the assumption that we are most likely going to get an update. There's a lot of cool stuff about it. Of course, we're going to be going over a ton of news today. A lot of stuff that I didn't cover in videos this week. And yeah, I'm very, very excited. We also got a lot of really cool questions as well. Again, if you guys want to ask me questions, I do answer them on this podcast almost every single episode. So if you want to ask me questions, you can go to my community tab, and I always ask for questions on there. A lot of time I also ask them on Discord as well. I did not do that today, so all the questions for today are actually going to be from YouTube. But luckily there's a ton of them to get through here, so that is a very, very cool. It's been a while since I've done questions for me, because the last two podcasts I actually didn't do questions. We did questions for Directing Pete when we had him on, and we didn't do questions last week, because that was a very different type of episode. So yeah, haven't really been able to like ask me directly questions, so I think that's why we got a lot more this week, which is very, very exciting. I'm going to be trying to get to as many of those as I possibly can in this week's episode. But anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and get on with the episode. Of course, there's a ton of cool stuff to talk about. The main thing with today with news is that Wonder Woman is actually going to be coming out, which is yet another collab, which I don't really have a problem with the collabs necessarily. I think I talked about this a little bit last week. I don't really have a problem with the collabs, but it's kind of getting overwhelming. There's like a lot happening right now, and it seems like most of the news is collabs at this point. The season started pretty good with the whole collab thing, and the last just 2 weeks, like 3 weeks even, I think, has just been nothing but collab, 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 collab. Collab this, collab that, collab challenges. There's like a bunch of challenges that I haven't even touched yet. You got like the free guy stuff. You got the Wonder Woman who's coming out. Supposedly even more is coming in the next update. There's just a ton of collab stuff, which again, necessarily, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I don't think I feel like most of these collabs I haven't really been interested in myself personally. But they're still really cool to see. We talked about last week, we talked about Gamora. That came out this week. Actually, I think that came out like 2 days ago or yesterday. 2 days ago, I think. And of course, we talked about Superman and all that cool stuff. So this week, yeah, it's the free guy collab. I don't know if that skin's still in the item shop, but I'm pretty sure the challenges are still available. Haven't done those. I don't know if I will, because I've heard they're very, very annoying to do. So I don't know if it's worth it. And then, of course, Wonder Woman's coming out, and that is pretty cool. We got pretty much like everyone in the Justice League. I think all we need is Green Arrow, and yeah, that's gonna be, or actually no, not Green Arrow, Green Lantern. That's next, I'm guessing, is what's gonna come from DC. That or either like something else from Suicide Squad or something. So that is pretty cool. And yeah, apparently next week we're going to be getting even more collabs. Tyler Rake from, I don't even know the movie that's coming out for that. But I think he's played by Chris Hemsworth, so that's pretty interesting. And yeah, very, very cool stuff right there. There's been a very interesting leak lately, which I actually do want to make a video on at some point. But it's like a leaked image. I don't really know where this came from, but it's like chibi versions of like a bunch of Fortnite characters. You got Fishstick, you got Kettle Team Leader, you got Jonesy, you got Peely. They're all holding like weapons that you would see in like an RPG game. A lot of people have been speculating that this is for some new kind of PvE style mode. Me personally, this looks like some kind of spin-off game, which is something that I could definitely see Fortnite doing. I think at this point, Fortnite could really become a big franchise. They've already got like a bunch of merchandise, of course. They got the game. Uh, but now I feel like they could start branching off into different things, and this art style looks like some kind of mobile game, or doesn't even have to be a mobile game, just some kind of spin-off of Fortnite. That's just a completely separate game. Maybe has not as high of a budget. It's a very different, plays very differently. Um, this could be an interesting thing. This could be like an interesting kind of mobile RPG, or again, it doesn't have to be mobile. The art style just kind of gives me that feeling. And knowing Fortnite, they're probably going to monetize the heck out of whatever this would be. Again, this is just speculation. This could just be for some random art or something. Who knows? But in my opinion, to me, I see this and it just looks like some kind of RPG thing. And I do want to make a video on that. In fact, I should probably write that down because that's a video I probably should have made a while ago. Because I really have not made a lot of videos this week, which I plan to change for next week. Well, I guess this week at this point. So last week I didn't make a ton of content. Did release Burmaro Season 3, though. That was really, really cool. I had a lot of fun making that trailer. And that was a really fun stream when it came out, and I do want to continue that. So I apologize if you hear my keyboard here. But yeah, interesting stuff there. Again, I want to make a video on that. There's a lot of stuff I want to make a video on. Of course, tomorrow, if there's an update tomorrow, which I'm hoping there is, I will be making a video on that tomorrow, for sure. And yeah, just a lot of stuff. Lots of interesting stuff. And I'm glad I have the podcast here to talk about all the stuff that I didn't really necessarily make the videos on. Because a lot of the stuff is like things that are cool, but it's like I don't want to dedicate a whole video to it. Like the whole Free Guy collaboration is cool, but I'm not gonna make a video on every time they introduce a collaboration because it's just not worth it at this point. Like all my opinions on these collabs at this point is just, oh, that's cool. I'm glad that skin's coming to the game. Probably won't buy it, but that's cool. That's like my opinion on every collab at this point. And I don't think people want to hear me re-say that opinion in 50 different videos. So that's why I think that's the main reason I haven't been making a ton of videos lately, is because most of the news has just been that. And most of my opinions on stuff hasn't come until later. Until I've like thought about it more. Mainly with like the whole mobile game RPG thing. When I first saw that, I didn't really think much of it. But now that I look at it, it seems very, very interesting. I still do want to know where that came from, though. I want to know if that's actually a real image or not. So I'm kind of skeptical. Kind of came out of nowhere. We're also going to be getting a Minty Legends pack, which is going to have like a Minty Aura, Minty Bright Bomber, and a Minty Oro. Aura and Oro. The Aura's alright. The Bright Bomber's meh. The Oro is really cool. I guess Bright Bomber's pretty cool as well. I don't know. I feel like Bright Bomber and Aura are kind of not the best skins to pick for something like this. I know a lot of people are probably going to like it, but I kind of wish I picked some more interesting things. I think a lot of the other skins, like we have the Minty Elf, I think like the Minty Christmas skins are probably still the best Minty things. Snowbell Minty style, really, really good. I'm not loving this Minty Legends pack, other than the fact that the Oro looks really cool. Not the Aura. The Aura looks alright. But it seems a little unoriginal. I don't know. It's really cool, though, that they, like, made a variant of a concept skin. And I didn't tell the concept artist about this at all, so they just kind of did this, which is interesting. I remember seeing a tweet from the artist, which I don't remember the name of, unfortunately. But they were like, no, I was not informed about this, but I'm really happy it happened. So that's really cool. That's really cool to see. Fortnite's just like, hey, we like this concept so much. And of course it makes them a ton of money because it's a very popular skin. that they're gonna remix it, and it's cool that they have the ability to, like, we could see remixed versions of concept art skins. A lot of them are very popular. A lot of the skins created by concept artists are very, very popular. So I'd love to see even more variations of them. Any of the variations we've seen for other ones, I know we got like the Halloween boxing boxer, but those were actually created by the artists. Those were created by Shark Tooths. But this is the first time we're seeing like or like a version of another skin, like a concept skin that wasn't actually created by the original artist. So that's pretty interesting. That is pretty interesting. And yeah, of course, it seems that the whole Coral Castle thing has come back around. People are speculating next update that it's going to be removed or destroyed, but now we know with context from what happened to Slurpee, it's going to get abducted, which I'm not a huge fan of. I think that's probably going to be pretty uninteresting. I didn't really find it very interesting when it happened to Slurpee. I think it just made Slurpee worse in the long run. I'm not going to complain about the fact that the map changed. The fact that Slurpee changed is cool. But when you take something and you make it worse, and there's like no benefit to it, it's just kind of weird, you know? So, yeah, I'm happy Coral's changing. It's going to make it a bit more interesting to go to, if anything, but I think it's going to get even worse, unfortunately. If it does the same thing that happened to Slurpee, I think it's going to end up getting worse. Something we probably should have expected when we saw the leaks of it getting destroyed a while ago. I was hoping that maybe they would replace it with something new. They haven't really done anything with Slurpee since it got abducted, so I don't have high hopes for this either. But we'll just have to wait and see, of course. We will just have to wait and see what happens, but I feel like it's just going to kind of be a repeat of the whole Slurpee thing. And I don't think a lot of people are going to be very interested in this. I don't think a lot of people are going to land there, because I remember Slurpee was abducted. The first day was popular, and then the other days just not at all, and now nobody goes there. Some people used to go to Slurpee, but I remember dropping Slurpee after it got abducted, and I was like the only person there. There was like one other guy maybe, if I was lucky. So, pretty unfortunate. I feel like they're killing POIs. They're like killing them off. But we do have hope for some other map changes, because we've gotten some very interesting teasers that could be map changes, that could be a new LTM, or it could be both. Now, a bit of context before I go into this. A lot of people a while back found some interesting files, and of course, people immediately thought it was an Among Us collab, because it had the word, like, task and cafeteria. And it is very much seems like it's based on Among Us, but it's been pretty much confirmed that Among Us isn't actually coming to the game, which I pretty much immediately thought when I saw that. I was like, yeah, that's not happening. That's not happening. So, of course, Among Us is not coming to the game. But we are getting an Among Us-like mode, it seems like. And I think they're doing this because I'm starting to sense a pattern each season that we get like a weird LTM near like the last quarter of the season. In season 5, it was the bounty LTM, the Mando's bounty. In season 6, it was the whole survival LTM. I forget exactly what it was called. But you had to like search for the helicopter parts. That was a really cool one, I think. It was kind of annoying, but I think it was fun. And now we're getting this, which seems to be some type of multiplayer, like Among Us, maybe type of thing. I have a feeling that maybe instead of being like multiplayer and like one person is the spy and the other people have to figure out who it is, it seems from what I'm seeing that it's going to be some kind of character related to the storyline that's the spy, and it's going to be like an NPC character. But I don't know. We don't know much about this. But there's some very interesting screenshots that Epic has been posting. Whether or not these are actually in-engine, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it. These seem like rendered images, but it's interesting. It's very interesting. The main thing is I just really hope these places are actually on the map. I hope I can actually go to these places. But it doesn't seem like that. It seems like this is like a specific map made for this game mode. This Among Us-like game mode, at least as far as we can tell. It seems very much like an Among Us type game mode. Seems a bit late to do something like that. They already have the whole spy within creative mode thing, so I don't know how this is going to be much different. I feel like there's going to be some kind of twist. I think they're going to put some kind of twist on this. I don't think it's just going to be a blatant Among Us ripoff. I think they're going to do something interesting with it. But the least... I don't know if the least they can do is the right way to put it, but for me, I don't really... Like, I mean, I guess I'm excited for the LTM, but I just would rather... Like, not over the LTM, but I really do want to see at least these, like, POIs or these images. Whatever these are showing, I want these to be on the map somewhere. I don't think that's going to happen. But these places just look so cool and interesting to explore. And, I want map changes so bad. And it would be cool to have, like, this whole facility. Like, this, it looks like an underground facility. Maybe it could go to Corny Complex, I don't know. It looks really interesting, though. And I want this to be in the game. I want to play this, but it seems like... I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen. It seems like it's going to be for a game mode, which could be interesting. Could definitely be very interesting. So, we'll just see how that goes, I guess. We'll find out tomorrow, hopefully. Again, more stuff hinting that there's going to be an update. Of course, Wonder Woman. Not in the files, so they got to add it. The whole new LTM, this whole thing, they're teasing it. We got the last teaser today, and we're probably going to get it tomorrow. So, seems like very interesting stuff. It's something interesting I didn't mention about the Minty Legends. This isn't coming out until November. I think it's going to be another, like, Last Laugh thing. I think Minty Legends is going to replace the Last Laugh. So expect the Last Laugh to be in the item shop until at least November. And then they'll probably replace it with the Minty Legends, and then that's going to be in the item shop for a whole another year as well, I assume. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking with that. There's also, you can get another one of there was like the umbrella for doing the Ariana Grande event. Seems that they're giving out like a Chrome one. I don't know how you're supposed to get this. Seems like there's challenges or something with it. I don't know if that's already in the game. I haven't actually been on Fortnite in a while, so I'm not sure. But it got decrypted, so I don't know exactly if this is already a thing that you can get through challenges yet or what. But it's there. It's there for sure. But yeah, lots of cool stuff. Also, possible back to school challenges coming out. That's interesting. We heard about this a while ago. Looks like maybe next update would be the time they would do that. Again, more challenges. We're getting a lot of challenges this season. But hey, if they give me XP, I'm not going to complain. So, interesting. And then week 11 and 12 challenges. This is probably going to be the second to last update for the season, I would assume. It's going to be 14.40, I believe. Or not 14.40, sorry, 17.40. And then the next update after that will be 17.50, which is the last one, I think. I think it's the last one. So interesting, very interesting. I don't know how much this update's going to change my opinion of the season at this point. Of course, I'm going to make a review of the season at the end. But overall, not my favorite season we've had, which I know is probably a controversial opinion, because I know most people love the season. I'm really hoping this update gives me something fun to do. I really haven't played Fortnite in like a week at this point, other than for Burmaro, which is always fun. So, yeah, in terms of BR stuff, just haven't been a fan of this season, and I don't think this update's gonna change my opinion of it very drastically, but I'm very interested to see what happens, because this is, from all the leaks we've been getting, this seems like it's going to be a very interesting update, and I'm excited for it nonetheless. I'm always excited to get new updates. So, yeah, I'm happy about it, and tomorrow I will be making a video on all the leaked skins and stuff, because hopefully there's a lot of them. I'm sure there will be. Unless they're all encrypted, because they're all collabs like last update. Maybe that'll happen again, and if that's the case, then maybe I'll talk about the LTM. I mean, I'll make a video on the LTM anyway, if this is even an LTM. It seems like it will be, though. So, if this is an LTM, I'll make a video on that, probably on Wednesday. Yeah, I could see myself making a lot of videos this week. I could definitely see it. Tomorrow, make the whole skin video. leak skins. Then on Wednesday we can make the LTM video, and then maybe on Thursday or Friday, probably Thursday, I can make a video about the whole mobile game, the thingamabob that I talked about earlier. And on Friday, Brim stream. So that seems like a pretty fun week to me in terms of content. Hopefully I can keep up with that. Hopefully that's the plan. So expect that in terms of content from me this week. And yeah, that sounds like a pretty exciting week in terms of content for me. So hope you guys are excited about that. But yeah, again, a lot of cool news. That pretty much sums up all the news from this week. There's definitely a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff I missed. Didn't really talk about in videos, but I think that's a pretty good summary of everything that went down. Mostly collab stuff, mostly challenges, mostly just little things that we may see in the future, cosmetic news, all that kind of stuff. But the main interesting thing to me is this whole Among Us type game mode. I'm really excited to see what that actually ends up being like. I hope it's a fun game mode. I hope it's something that I enjoy a lot. I feel like the last two like big game modes haven't been too popular. Because with the bounty thing wasn't that popular. A lot of people didn't like that, and the whole survival thing. I really like the survival LTM. I wouldn't say it's something that I loved playing all the time, but I did enjoy it. I think it was interesting. It was new. It felt cool. It felt fun. It felt unique. I liked it a lot. Speaking of LTMs, the season's been very disappointing when it comes to like the available LTMs to play. Like most of the season, we've either just had like one or two really weak LTMs in like the playlist selector, or just none at all. Like if you go there right now, I don't even know if there's any LTMs to choose from, and that's kind of upsetting. It really is, because a lot of the replay value for me in Fortnite comes from the LTMs. Like if I'm bored of the normal gameplay, then I'll go play something like Solid Gold or Floor is Lava. I haven't gotten to play Floor is Lava this season. I know they did the disarmed version, but I'm not a huge fan of that version. And I'm really itching to play some Floor is Lava, because no matter what season you're in, that's always a fun time. So hopefully they bring that out. Hopefully they bring some LTMs, like some standard LTMs back. I think that would be really cool. But who knows? We'll just have to wait and see about that. I'm guessing that maybe we're getting towards the end of the season, so we'll see what happens next season. Okay. So, apologies for the noise. I'm drinking water. Gotta stay hydrated during the podcast. Let me refresh this. We're gonna be doing some listener questions here. And yeah, I'm gonna try to get through as many of these as possible, because there's a lot. So thank you guys so much for asking questions. I really love to read these questions. Even if I don't get to all of these questions, I read all of these questions. And I really appreciate it. So keep sending me your questions. I really do enjoy it. Commander Coral asks on YouTube, will there be any short films in this movie season? Of course, he's talking about Burmaro. I can't really say what's to come for the rest of the season. I'd love to kind of say, but I don't want to spoil things. But I will say that's a good idea, and it's definitely something we've thought about. So yeah, I can't really say what's to come for the rest of the season, but there's some pretty cool stuff. Yeah, I think Chapter 2, Season 3 of Burmaro is probably going to be the biggest one yet. And I don't say that lightly, because already I feel like the launch has blown a lot of other seasons out of the water, and I hope you guys feel the same way, because we've been really excited about it, the dev team and I, and it seems that I've seen a lot of excitement for it in the comments and in the stream, so I hope you guys enjoy it. What are your plans after Brim Chapter 2 ends? Chapter 3 or just some creative game modes? I can't really say. Again, this is another thing I can't really comment on. By the time Chapter 2 ends, though, Creative 2.0 will most likely either be out or be very close to releasing. I'm guessing it'll be out by then, though, because that's going to be a long time away. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I think Creative 2.0 is going to be like by the time that comes out, that's kind of going to be the main focus, and I can't say what we want to do with that. We as a dev team, don't even fully know what we want to do with Creative 2.0 yet. We have ideas. Um, we've talked about it a little bit, but we really just gotta wait and see what it's all about first. So yeah, we can't really say too much with the future of Britain, but the future of Chapter 2 is looking bright. We want to keep Chapter 2 running as long as possible, because it has a lot of longevity, especially compared to Chapter 1. Chapter 2 is gonna be a good one. I think the main thing is just Creative 2.0. Like, as soon as Creative 2.0 comes out, we're gonna switch to that, I think. Especially because there's a lot of projects that we've wanted to do. There's a lot of projects we've tried to do and gotten very close to like finishing that we just can't release because the limitations of current creative. And hopefully, Creative 2.0 gives us the ability to realize some of those things, realize some of those maps. And if that's the case, then you'll probably be seeing a lot more variety when it comes to the maps we publish. Of course, we did make the Five Nights at Freddy's map. We've made some interesting maps in the past that aren't Burmaro. And we want to keep doing stuff like that. But I think the main focus right now is just Chapter 2, Season 3. Because there's a lot of things we want to make for that still. And then just whatever happens in Creative 2.0. And I can't really say what that is because I don't even know myself really. So we'll just have to see what happens. It's gonna be pretty interesting. What would you think if Epic Games released a WWE pack that included Bryant Watt, John Cena, and The Rock? I think that would be cool. I think that would be pretty cool. I think for sure, I feel like we're gonna get The Rock at some point. I just feel like we're gonna get him as a skin. John Cena would be cool. Bray Watt. I think I said Brian Watt. I did not mean to say that. I meant to say Bray Watt. Don't know a lot about him, but I think WWE would be cool. I mean, it's another one of those collabs I would just be like, yeah, that's cool. Probably won't buy it, but it's cool. Don't really have a lot of strong opinions on that, but I think seeing The Rock in the game would be really cool, and I feel like that has to happen someday. Like I feel like that's inevitable at this point. So that would be very, very interesting to see. I don't know if that skin would be linked to the WWE or if it would be like just him, but I know. I mean, they did like the whole the LeBron James thing, and he was linked to the NBA. Well, he was more linked to the whole Looney Tunes movie, so I don't know. That was an interesting thing. That was definitely a whole Space Jam promotion right there. I don't know if I feel like if The Rock was like in any upcoming movies, then they would give him a skin and then promote a movie that he's in rather than giving him a WWE outfit. Because I don't know if he's participated in any WWE stuff, like crazy stuff recently. I'm sure he has. I don't know. I don't keep up with that. So I don't know what big event they would give The Rock a skin for when it comes to that. But maybe visiting a movie. Because I know he does a lot of movie stuff now. A lot of sports players have gotten into acting and stuff. So it's interesting to see. I don't know. I think it would be cool though. I think if we got WWE stuff, I think it would be cool. That's all I'll say. Also, sorry if you keep hearing noises in the background. I keep messing with stuff on my desk, so I apologize about that. But yeah, Axon on YouTube asks, "Are you planning on doing any collaborations in Brim Royale?" Probably not, unfortunately. Brim Royale is one of those things that we really like to keep, like, to ourselves. We don't like to interfere, like, or have anything else interfere with, like, our story or what's going on the island. But I don't know. It's been tempting recently, to want to collab with some other creators. Especially as I've gotten more into the creative scene. I've talked to a lot of people in the community, and it would be cool. It would be very cool. But I think it would be better to do something like that for like the channel or like another creative map and not necessarily Brim, because I like having Brim Royale be its own thing. I like having it be its own like universe and its own thing. And of course, uh, it's made cameos and things here and there, but it's like it's its own thing and nothing really interferes with it. And I want to keep it that way because there's a very specific story that we've been trying to tell and that we're going to tell in the rest of chapter 2. And if any collaborations like affected it, it might, I don't know, it might be weird, you know. Uh, but there might be a way to do a collab that wasn't like intrusive, you know. I, I want to do collabs, but I just don't want it to be intrusive into our storyline or into our plans. And that's the main thing that worries me about collabs. And it's not like we're Fortnite. We can't just like sell a cosmetic and have it not do anything. You know, like a collab in a mini battle royale map has to be like a POI or like a landmark or some specific storyline event, something that happens on the map itself. And that's what's weird about it. And that's when it starts to mess with like our canon, because then like say I collab with someone and they have their mini BR and then suddenly those universes are connected. It's it's probably not as big of a deal as I make it out to be, but we just like, especially I just like to have my the own canon, like our own universe. So probably gonna have to say no to the collab thing for now, though it is very enticing. Maybe in the future, maybe if some really cool thing happens that I am not able to pass down, an offer I simply can't refuse, or something like that. Maybe. And maybe Brim will make cameos and other things as well. I'm always down for that. So, yeah. Hope that answers your question. Hope that answers your question pretty well. Um, Sir Detergent asks, how do you get the effects you used for the logger voice? Now, for the logger voice, I use a program called Voice Mod. It's one of the mini voice changers. Of course, I apply a few effects to it in editing, but for the most part, it's just like the voice from the Voice Mod program. And yeah, I do recommend that program. There might be other ones better for like, because it it's free to use, but it's paid if you want to get all these different features. Um, there might be some better ones out there, so I would do your research first. But at the time when I bought it, it was years ago. It was like one of the best options, but times have changed since then, so I don't know. Uh, yeah, so if you want to do any voice changers, I would do some research on what the best one is to get. But I personally, I used Voice Mod. So that's the one I used. Hopefully that answers your question. Do you plan on doing live events for Burmaro? Coolbra is the one who asked that, by the way. This is a question I've gotten quite a bit, and this is another one that I'm not completely certain of. I don't think so, though. I don't think so. I feel like live events are cool, but the creative doesn't really have the tools to make them worth it. For one, they take up a ton of memory that I don't think we have, that we definitely don't have. Um, and they just, it's the whole thing, creative, I feel like is kind of limited when it comes to what you can do with that kind of thing. I've seen some very impressive ones, but most of them follow the same kind of ideas and structure, no matter how different they are. Because it's like they're working with all the things you can do. Like every creative live event I've seen is like, oh, something explodes, or you're flying in the sky, or something like that. Or there's text bubbles, which isn't bad. It's not a bad thing, and a lot of those events are cool. But with the story that we want to tell with Brim, we need more than that, and that's where the trailers come in, and that's why we want to do. That's why I personally like the trailers better. I think doing the trailers, telling our story purely through the cinematics is the best way to do things, at least for me. Of course, if you're a BR map maker, do whatever you want. Live events are cool. Do live events if you want to do live events. Do trailers if you want to do trailers. Do both if you want to do both. For me personally, I like doing trailers. There's a lot of things you can do in trailers that you can't do with a live event. Like if you look at the most recent trailer for Burmaro, we can do a lot of that stuff with a live event. You can convey that. It would be very difficult, especially with the kind of style that I went for when making the trailer. So yeah, that's the weird thing about it. I just feel like live events are very limited. I'd like to make kind of like a concert live event. I think something like that would be interesting because it's not necessarily like storyline related. But again, you can't like import your own music, which is understandable, it makes sense. But there's like not only that, I mean, it makes sense you can't import your own music, but the music options you have are really good for like adventure maps. And there's a few fun like dance tracks, but I think it would be a game changer if you could use any music track in the game on the boombox device. That would be amazing. That way we'd be able to do concerts, especially if there's some licensed music there that you could use for that. That would be really cool. But yeah, that's about the only thing I could see us doing is maybe like a music thing. But even then, the boombox is limited. Everything that we would want to use for a live event, all the devices are just limited. And hopefully Creative 2.0 has a good way to do that kind of thing. And if that was the case, then that would be amazing. But even if you had like unlimited potential with live events, trailers still do a really good job of showing you specific characters and specific moments. Like even with a live event, you can't show like the whole Ripley transformation scene as well. You can't really do that as well because in a live event it's not, you can't like focus on certain parts of the map or certain characters. It's like this whole thing, it's like a grand scale event, and a lot of stuff with Brim isn't a grand scale event. uh it's just like little things happening. So I don't know, it's interesting. I think maybe, I don't know, we it's weird because I feel like the biggest example, a good example of this is the end of chapter 1. The ending, the trailer for the ending. I think that if we did that as a live event, it wouldn't have been nearly as cool. Of course, we all got in a match and we all went through the portal, which was fun. But like the trailer that we made for that was so like you you can't do that with a live event. You can't have like this scene with the logger and him going on this monologue. At least not now. And even if you had infinite tools, like who wants to watch an event where one little guy runs into a portal? Like you don't have the framing, you don't have the shots, you don't have the epic music. I feel like cinematography is such a powerful tool that you can't emulate with a live event. And that's why I like doing the trailers. Again, that's just me personally. I like doing the trailers, and again, the tools that we have right now aren't great for doing live events and creative. And even if we have like the best tools ever, it still wouldn't like I still wouldn't be able to do a lot of the stuff I do with the trailers in a live event because it's very much character focused and it's very much like it's expanded upon and it's improved by the actual cinematography of it. So, yeah, that's kind of my take on that. And hopefully that kind of answers your question. Llama Man on YouTube asks, "What's your opinion on non-accurate raptors?" I don't care. I didn't expect the raptors in Fortnite of all things to be accurate at all, so not really. It doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me at all. Jacko on YouTube asks, "Why is your main skin Axo?" That's a really good question. So this channel started like when Axo released. Of course, you probably know this, especially if you listened to the last podcast. But the reason that I made Axo, to me, and this may sound weird, is because I feel like Axo is just like a representation of myself a little bit. It's like a persona of me. And he's just such a fun character. He just looks like such a fun guy, and I just really enjoy the design. I enjoy the skin a lot, and I feel like I can project a lot of myself onto the character of Axo. And it's just something that when as soon as I saw it, it just like gripped me, and it's just I couldn't like I saw the skin in the leaks, and I just could not stop thinking about it. I was like, I need this skin. I need it now. This is the only skin I'm ever gonna use. And I feel like he's just such a good like mascot for not only me as a person, he's a good personification of me, but at like the channel itself. And I don't know, I really find that it's a character that I can like project onto and just it's weird. It sounds weird, but if you've ever had a main skin in Fortnite, you probably know the feeling I'm talking about. It just you see it and you're like, that skin, that represents me right there. That skin is me. Even if it doesn't like look like you, or if it doesn't like, I mean, that's about as far as it goes. Even if it doesn't really look like you can kind of project yourself onto it and feel as if that's the closest thing you can get to representing yourself in the game. And again, of course, I'm not a walking, talking axolotl, but it's just kind of the idea of it is there, and I think it works. It's just something that I connect to, and it's just weird. It's weird how it works like that. But I think anybody who's ever had like a main skin or like a mascot for their channel who plays Fortnite or whatever, it sounds dumb, but it's true. It's just you see a skin, and that's the skin you connect with. And that's what it comes down to. On top of it, just like if it's your main skin, it's probably your favorite skin in the game. I feel like Axo is by far, he is my favorite skin in the game. He's my favorite skin to run out of any of the skins in my locker. And yeah, it's weird. Again, it's weird, but that's how I'd explain it. So, I don't know if I explained that decently. It's kind of hard to describe how you feel about something like that. But again, I think if you have like a main skin or something, you can kind of relate. Just being like, you see a skin in the game, and your first thought is like, yeah, that skin right there does a great job at representing me. I don't know why, but it does. So that's why he's my main skin. On top of him just being my favorite skin in the game, he's my favorite skin to run out of any other skin. Great edit styles, great color scheme, amazing like personality. Of course, like the skins don't talk at all, but just the way you can tell that he just seems to have such a fun personality. And I think when a skin's able to do that, it's really special. So that's the main thing about it, and that's why Axel is my main skin. And that, my friends, is where I'm going to end this episode of the Bendominator Podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Hopefully I got to your question in this video. If not, you can ask it again on the next podcast. I do post in the community tab all the time. Again, can't wait for tomorrow's update. I will be making a ton of videos this week, assuming we get an update tomorrow. And yeah, again, thank you guys so much for watching this podcast. Thank you yet again for listening to me ramble on and on and on. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Have a great rest of your day. And goodbye.